Nigerian music industry is by far the most dominant in Africa. According to Homespun statistics, global annual Nigerian live performance revenues reached approximately $105 million. And despite the several infrastructural problems and copyright issues, the industry continues to thrive. My name is Peace Hyde, and this is My Worst Day on Forbes Africa TV. Underpinning Nigeria's entertainment industry, which is estimated to hit over $1 billion by 2016, is the elite group of individuals known as the producers. The industry produces over 550 albums of different music annually. But in Africa's largest entertainment market, one man towers above everyone else. Let's take a look at who he is. Maven. Michael Collins Ajere, born the 26th of November 1982, is better known as Don Jazzy, a Nigerian multiple award-winning record producer, singer, songwriter and musician. Don Jazzy is the former CEO of Mo Hits Records and current CEO of Maven Records. Born in the Abia State, Don Jazzy has come a long way since his first signing, which was D'banj, who was at the time also the vice president of Mo Hits Records.
I don't get a lot, God.
I'm a leader, my baby. You wait till your heart and then navigate it. I don't know what to do to me. I'm going to you give me trouble.
Don Jazzy has produced tracks for many top industry artists, including Dr. Sid, One Day Cole, The Prince, Nato C, Source Kid, and Tiwa Savage, among many others. He also has a number of high-profile collaborations under his belt. Don Jazzy collaborated with Jay-Z and Kanye West on the production of Liftoff, featuring Beyoncé, on the album Watch the Throne, released on August the 8th, 2011. Don Jazzy was rated as the 39th most powerful celebrity in Africa, according to Forbes. Don Jazzy has always had a flair for music, singing and playing the drums from the age of 4. He developed a passion for the bass guitar at the age of 12, and he studied business management at the Ambrose Ali University. In 2000, he moved to London, UK, after his uncle invited him to come and play the drums for the local church. Various odd jobs followed, including working at McDonald's and as a security guard. Already imbued with an intimate knowledge of traditional and percussion instruments, Don Jazzy further built his musical knowledge during his stint in the UK. He would spend unrelenting hours practicing, recording, and performing different types of music.
When you hear the kick,
he has several endorsements, including MTN, Samsung, and most recently, the face of Johnny Walker.
Here comes Big Don Jazzy, original producer. Excuse me, I'm a LA. Keep rocking like that, too. Here comes the double.
Hello and welcome to My Worst Day with Forbes Africa TV. My name is Peace Hyde, and joining us today we have the continent's most successful producer, Don Jazzy. Welcome to My Worst Day, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Now, growing up, I'm sure at least every single human being on the continent has heard and loved at least one of your songs. We know who the music magnate is, Don Jazzy, but we want to find out who is the person behind that superstar brand. Who is Don Jazzy?
Okay, Don Jazzy. Don Jazzy is a simple guy. He's a music lover. Michael Collins Ajere, my birth name. I was born in Umuahia in the eastern part of Nigeria, Abia State. And my parents relocated to Lagos, where we stayed in Ajogule, some part of Lagos. I have 3 other siblings. I'm the first child. So it's pretty much like a small family, church going, and we just grew up from then, always being a musical family. I just kept on doing this music, and I'm here today. Today, CEO, president, maybe in records. It's a growing company. We're just 3 years in the game now, but then we're moving strong. Everybody seems to feel like we have done a lot of things right, and we are at the top of our game, and we appreciate that.
Now, Nigeria has the largest economy on the continent following the release of the rebased GDP statistics. How important do you think the entertainment industry will be for the future development of the economy? Oh,
very important, actually. Nigeria has gotten to a point where other African countries look into Nigeria for the next trend of music, or what kind of movies to create. And I think in the nearest future, with some proper government policies set in place and some proper some funds pumped into the industry, you can never tell. America might just be chasing us.
Well, I mean, prior to you achieving such a high level of success in your music career, I understood that you worked as a security guard and also in McDonald's. What was that experience like for you?
It's one of those things that happens to guys in the UK, right? You're in the UK, you don't have a job. At this point, all I was doing for money was either I used to play music in different churches and I would get paid, but then it's not enough to pay like the bills. It's a church, they don't really pay that well. I asked around, some people introduced me to, security agencies, and I got a couple of jobs. I did security not only in McDonald's, I actually did, all these uncompleted building sites and stuff. I remember I used to just be there in the night, in the cold, with my jacket, just looking around before the workers come in the morning. But I just see it as one of those things that you do, and it will get better. The kind of person that I am, I'm always content with any situation that I am. As at that point, I didn't really think that I was suffering, or I didn't think that I actually felt like, oh my God, I'm going to do this job. I stay here 5-6 hours and I'll get pound sterling. And I will have enough money to take care of my responsibilities, my family, and things like that. So it didn't really look to me like I was suffering.
Now, we've established the man behind the persona, but tell us, what has been your worst day so far in business?
The decision for myself and my partner, my former partner, demand to actually pursue different paths, to just tow different lines to different paths. I think it was at some point, or at that point, I don't think it was the right decision, because it led to a lot of things. Minus, it's not really as much as, okay, there were financial losses. It's not really that. It's also that I lost a friend/brother.
Whose decision was it to go separate ways? Was it a mutually...
we agreed to disagree and agreed, yeah.
Okay.
He wanted to concentrate in the American market. I didn't think that we were ripe enough for that. I just felt like we were wasting so much money to try and create fire where there's no smoke, or how do you say that? Yeah, so it's not like I'm not looking at like bigger pictures, but then I like to be realistic with myself. There was no way I would do that and not think of the other children that I have over here in my record label. There was Wande Cole, there's the Prince, Dr. Seed. So, and when I'm committed to doing something, I like to see it to the end. So, and I know me going to the United States at that time is just going to leave the rest of them hanging. I will be concentrating on producing for Kanye West and the rest of them. A lot of them were on me, like, oh, send me beats, do this, blah, blah. But it might take me a long time to be as successful over there. So I decided to stay behind and still build what I have. And I think at some point, we got to this point where Kanye was interested in us. I think we will get to a point where we will be able to make better demands. And when it's time, it will be time. I don't know if I'm going to be waiting forever, but then America is calling, is looking into Nigeria now. Look at the love that they have for Wizkid's music, Davido, and the rest of them, Wande Cole. Now, you understand? So now it's looking like it's ripe enough. But then I just didn't think that it was the time yet.
So before the day came that you decided to go your separate ways, did you ever envision there would be a split between yourself and D'banj?
No, never.
You thought it would last?
Yeah, it's like the most beautiful relationship ever in the music industry. I don't even know anybody that did go that far. We were together for pretty much 8 years.
And once that split happened, how did it affect you? What was going through your mind?
I had to reflect, re-strategize, and think of what next then. And Mavin was born.
And when you went from working with D'banj to now creating the Mavins, did that change the way in which you created music? Did it affect your creative process? What happened?
I think in the beginning, because of the media and also the fans that were upset, I don't think everybody understood the fact that we were not really happy like that. Anyways, and we were hurting, but they kept on making it difficult for the both of us, even till date. Like, even at the point where we have actually moved on from any bad blood or whatever, and they just keep adding like problems. Like, I will say something and they just assume I'm saying something about him. He will say something, they assume he's saying something about me. He will drop a song, they will assume that song is a beef song. I will drop a song, they will assume it's a beef song, and it doesn't work like that. Now everybody's just doing music, trying to please the fans, but then sometimes they don't get it. Or maybe it's just people that just don't want progress.
Right. But then after something like that hit you, what actions did you take immediately after? What was the next step? Because I know there was a space and time where you weren't with D'banj and the Mavins hadn't formed. So what happened in that space?
I just needed to introduce to the market a product that they will like.
Did you ever think that separation symbolized the end of your career?
No. I don't think God left God took the Israelites from Egypt. Yeah. I don't think God took the Israelites from Egypt and said he's taking them to the promised land and then they just abandon them. It doesn't work like that. I think with the way my life has been going from childhood to now, I know God has a plan for me, and I don't think I've gotten there yet. And I know that I've not shifted my faith and believe in God. So, and I still work hard and I still love what I do and I still have my talent. I don't think there's anything stopping me.
So you went on from such a ground-shaking experience to go on to form one of the most successful group of artists on the continent. But what would you say that experience taught you? It
just taught me to be prepared for anything, really. anything can happen. Like I went on to create a group where, from the beginning, I already know. Like now, you sign new artists, Corey De Bello, Ricardo Banks, DJ Tiwa Savage. Nobody signs a lifetime contract. It's probably 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, or whatever the case may be. Like in my case now, it's a 3 years deal. At 3 years, when it gets to the end of 3 years, if Mr. Corey De Bello or Mr. Ricardo Banks or DJ decides now that they want to move on to do something of their own, because at the end of the day, that's the goal to actually. Why do you sign to a record label? Because you need somebody to push you to a certain level. So when you get to a level where you feel like, oh, I can actually push myself now, let me move on. But then when that happens, or if that happens, the fans might look at it like, oh, they are fighting, something is wrong here. Oh, let's start doing this, but let's start saying this, the bloggers will get to work and stuff like that. They might actually not just make it to look like something that is not there. I've made steps, I've taken different steps to let the fans know from now that this is a contractual friendship or deal or whatever, and it has a termination date. So if it gets to that 3 years, so this is like one of those steps that I'm taking. So now, when it gets to that 3 years and they're successful enough, which I pray that they are successful enough, because at the end of the day, that's my glory. That's the glory that I get, that I actually built people and they got to a place where they can actually stand for themselves and move on. And I get what I was again, and I blew them, and I get what I was, and I blew them. That's what it is. I learned that from them.
Looking back at that experience, I understand it would completely change your whole perspective on not only your future, but also the past. In hindsight, is there anything that you would have done differently?
I don't know.
You would actually...
I don't know. Anything that's happened has happened. If I had the chance, again, I would do differently. Nah, it's okay. You know what it is I love the Banj. He is like one of the best friends that I've ever had. It was beautiful while it lasted. We've moved on. And I love my new kids. You understand? I don't want to say, oh, I wish that I am back to the Mohis days, but then I will not have my new kids. You understand? If it didn't happen, we won't see young ones like Korede or Ricardo Banks grow. So anyway, at the end of the day, is you win some, you lose some, it happens, you just move.
Now, as you said, yourself and D'banj are on good terms.
Yeah.
Is there a future collaboration possible with either one of the Mavens or even the original, yourself and D'banj?
Yeah, most definitely.
Can we have the name of the song?
Oh, no, it can't just be a song.
Okay.
There's no, if I thought we were going to work together, we'll probably work on an album or something bigger than that.
Okay.
We can't just come and just say, oh, once again, even if we come now and give you people, oh, hey, this is one song, blah, blah, are you people going to be satisfied with that? Yeah.
The name Don Jazzy is one that so many corporates are desperate to be affiliated with. And I understand that you're recently appointed as the brand ambassador of Johnny Walker. How is that? I won't try and do no shade. How has that experience been for you so far?
It's been very beautiful. It makes me very happy. It gives me some sense of fulfillment. Like, I have achieved something, and when you look at the lineup of other ambassadors that they have, like Jude Law and stuff, we just came back from Rome, and it was beautiful, you know, with the whole Formula One racing things. I was a little bit scared, but then...
was that your first time meeting Jude Law?
Yeah, that's my first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind for someone who's dominated the continent to now go into the global market on this, in this capacity? How did you feel?
I felt happy, I felt fulfilled, I felt grateful and joyful. You know, joy will take you further. So, it was beautiful. Like, I think it was such a beautiful experience that I can't wait to do it again. And yeah, definitely. Andrew Lloyd is such a beautiful character as well. He was down to earth to me because they've heard a lot about me as well, and how I've handled the ambassadorship so far from this part of Africa, and everyone is impressed, and I'm happy to be a part of the family. And I think it's going to be a relationship that's going to last for a very long time.
With all the success that you have achieved, there are so many young people that look up to you. What advice would you give to young musicians and producers looking to be successful in the African entertainment industry, as you have been?
It's a beautiful business. They should just make sure that it is what they want to do. The most important thing is that you should have the passion for it. Don't come into it just because you want to make money. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes it might take a long while before the money really starts rolling in. In the early days, we were just doing it based on the passion. We love getting on stage. I love people listening to my beat and dance. You have to have that passion in you. Pray to God. Remember that when you finally make it, you should be as humble as possible, because it's God that gives this to us and He can take it at any time. And music in stardom in Africa is different from how it is in the States. They can be all diva-ish and things like that. I don't know, it's their upbringing. But over here, you still have to be level-headed. It helps. You can't disrespect your elders just because you're a star, or disrespect even your mates or your fans, even the younger ones on the social media and stuff like that, just because you're a star and things like that, and you work for it.
Phenomenal. Well, thank you so much, Don Jazzy, for sharing us not only your amazing experience to date, but just the success story alone, and your ups and downs are truly inspiring. Thank you for joining us on My Worst Day on Forbes Africa TV.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've heard what the music mogul had to say about his journey, but what is a great entrepreneur without his team? So let's find out what they had to say about this amazing individual, Don Jazzy.
My name is Dr. Sid. I'm a performing and recording artist on Maven Records.
Hi, my name is Corey Bello, and I'm a musician, live giver, entertainer, and entrepreneur.
My name is Femi Ahmed, and I'm Don Jazzy's executive assistant.
Don Jazzy is
Don Jazzy is
Don Jazzy is
your father,
an enigma.
brother.
thinks about others more than he does about himself.
He's very easy to work with.
The comedian, sometimes.
I mean, I've known Don Jazzy now for over 15 years, and we've made a lot of money together, lots of hit songs, and he's truly one of my friends.
He's outstanding, phenomenal, very hardworking.
Never satisfied with normal.
But working with Don Jazzy is like working with a legend. Working with Don Jazzy is like working with a joyful man. Working with Don Jazzy is like working with someone, a friend you can confide in.
And he's a humanitarian as well.
And it's just a musical genius, and when talents come together, something magical always comes out of it. I mean,
You can't fully put your finger on who Don Jazzy is. You can't totally grasp the extent of the being that is Don Jazzy.
Don Jazzy is that person you want to work with.
And he's an all-around amazing person, all in all.
Well, I mean, God, you mean? It has definitely had a positive impact in my life, and I dare say it's just starting actually, because I mean, I treasure every moment with Don Jazzy. I mean, it's something like every artist or every musician in Africa wants to have or wishes they could have.
He's here to definitely change the game and improve it for the better. So I guess I'm a very lucky man to have him as my producer.
Don Jazzy, we love you, and we think you need to, sleep a lot more, rest, I mean, you need to rest more, to rest, everything can be, you can have six-pack and eventually come through and hit the right things. But I mean, we love you regardless.
In business, nothing is ever certain. Preparation and planning is of the utmost importance because you never know when everything will go wrong. Sometimes, hedging your bets for a rainy day can be the difference between sinking or swimming when the floods of failure comes. It's important to have a solid strategy and always be prepared to adapt to survive. My name is Peace Hyde, and this is my worst day for Forbes Africa TV.
I don't get a lot, God you.